So today, obviously, it's episode 10, and we're going over the U.S. Airman who killed his roommate. With all the evidence and witnesses, it comes to light that this is no self-defense claim, as previously suggested, but instead, it's a calculated murder.
Yeah.
So today we have the Joker of New Orleans on the podcast. He's a comic book hero that comes to life, and is a man who is widely renowned for his many talents. You want to describe what you do?
Sure. Yeah, I do like mind reading and hypnosis and things like that, mainly on the street, but I'm working my way onto stages, so hopefully that'll, but obviously I'm also fascinated with crime, so.
You're on the streets of New Orleans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you work outside of New Orleans, or is just pretty much New Orleans right now?
I do travel quite a bit. Las Vegas is becoming a frequent thing for me, which I never thought I'd say if you asked me 2 years ago.
Holy crap, Las Vegas?
Yeah, and I've been to New York, loved it. Miami, didn't love it. I'm planning on going to LA soon, so we shall see.
You didn't like Miami, you said? Or
No,
New York?
It's the culture there. The culture is very much mind your business, don't talk to strangers, don't ask questions, things like that. And while I respect it, it does me no good for what I like to do.
Well, truth.
Fun I like to have. So.
Yeah. I remember Miami back whenever I had my son. Right after I had my son, I was like, I haven't drank in 2 years. I'm going to drink. Bad idea. Just bad idea. Just don't do it.
Definitely wasn't the most fun I've had.
No. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into the case. Of course,
Sure.
If you have questions, obviously stop me and ask, whatever.
Okay.
So both of these men were airmen and electronic warfare journeymen stationed at Barksdale Air Force Base in North Louisiana. They were deployed to Guam and with the 2nd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron. So it's Bradley Hale and Isiah Edwards, and they were roommates at the Guam squadron. Hale was found in their quarters with 3 cuts to his neck on one given day. So the victim in this case is Bradley Hale. He was from Montgomery County, Texas. He joined the Air Force in 2016, and his father was an Army vet. So he had a military background, his family, and his younger brother was in the Navy. His younger brother's name was Nicholas, and he was in the Navy. So Rodney Hale is Bradley Hale's father, and he described his son as ambitious and how he loved the Air Force. Whenever Bradley was younger, he attended Montgomery, Texas High School, and he played the bass clarinet, which is not typical for a guy to play a clarinet. I mean, I haven't seen it where I'm from.
Yeah, right. And you usually don't think military type when you hear that either.
No, you would think like bugle or drums or something. Not a bass clarinet, but hey.
Okay.
I would even say saxophone, because saxophone is an amazing instrument. I love, love, love jazz.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
So the town where they grew up, Bradley and Rodney, had fewer than 1,000 people. And that's obviously in Montgomery, Texas. And it's about 60 miles northwest of Houston. So that's more towards, is it New Mexico right there? Oklahoma area?
Northwest of Houston? Oh, yeah. That's towards Dallas, I think. Or Dallas might be northeast slightly, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So it's got Houston, and Dallas is like right there. Right there.
Okay.
Whatever. I used to live in Texas so bad, and I really dislike it.
You should know this. Come
I
on.
should, but I lived on the west side of Texas. Like the west side of Texas.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I should know this, but I don't. I'm not a Texas fan. I'm really not a Texas fan. Not living there. Vacationing, okay. Living, no. Not me.
Yeah, no thanks.
I need my Louisiana life. That's what I'm used to. So, Bradley's family had obviously an extensive military background, and His uncle even served in the Air Force, and his grandfather also served in the Air Force. So, like I said, that's a lot of people in the military. So
he had no other choice.
No, it sounded like me, because I was going for the military right out of high school because my aunt, my grandfather, everybody was in the military. But 2 weeks before shipping out, I ended up pregnant. So.
I mean, I was gonna say, aren't you glad? But some people have mixed feelings about that.
Yeah, I wish I could have been retired right now. At the age of 36, I could have been retired.
Or you could be dead.
You're right. But I would have been a 92 Alpha, which is supply. But anyways.
Alpha woman.
That's funny.
Oh my god.
Okay. My cat is literally trying to break down the door, so please, if you hear that, just disregard.
Okay, I'll ignore it.
That's funny. Usually it's the dog, but it's the cat. Wow. So Bradley's friends in high school thought that he would be part of NASA because he was that smart.
Wow.
Yeah, that is crazy. He joined the Air Force in March of 2016, and that's whenever he was deployed to the 2nd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron. He joined at the age of 18, so freshly 18, and let me sign up and go.
It's so young.
That is, but I was gonna do it too, so I can't even hate. Can't hate.
Touché.
So he was sent to Guam on a 6-month deployment, and he has been there 1 month before this incident happened, and he was age 20. So that was 2 years after he joined. He was sent to Guam.
Wow.
So Bradley Hale's mom, her name is Charlotte Hale, and she said that whenever this incident happened, that she obviously could not breathe. She passed out, ended up in the emergency room. It's a death of a child, like.
Unsurprising, man.
Yeah. She said that he was his best friend and her heart, and that she just felt like her heart was just ripped from her. But obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine. I swear. I have 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and Lord no, I couldn't.
Yeah, that's unimaginable.
So the family was able to communicate, but it was like a 15-hour time difference. So that means they literally just had to communicate at very ends of time, because as Bradley was ending his day, they were beginning theirs. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah. He had a gift of making friends, so everywhere he went, he was able to make friends. And let's see, I done lost my place. His father said he was a friend to everybody. He was very friendly. He could walk into any room, not know anybody, but yet he'll come out with any new friend.
Right.
That's like my daughter. That is my daughter all the way. Very outgoing.
That is how I am.
Well, truth. I mean, I am too, but doing a true crime, you kind of iffy sometimes. But I'm still that person. I see somebody on the side of the road and I think they stuck. I'ma stop.
Yeah, it's
a touch and go.
Yeah, it's hard to separate yourself from the fact that, like, this stuff doesn't happen very often.
Right.
But when you submerge yourself in that true crime culture and, like, ooh, let's talk about crimes,
you see a lot.
It's easy to feel like this stuff is running rampant when it's really not, you know.
But you know how many crime posts I get on a given day? It's at least 10.
Oh, I bet.
In the state of Louisiana only. Yes. That is crazy. So, Bradley's last conversation with his father was right before he arrived to Guam. And Rodney stated, "I thought I would tell you I was thinking of you and to tell you to have a great day." Bradley's words were, "I love you and have a great day. Mine is ending in a couple of hours." And then his dad said, "Get some sleep." He loved him. And Bradley said, "I love you too." So at least they had a good conversation before this incident happened.
They were on good terms and all that. That's good.
Yeah. So the suspect was Isiah Edwards. He was from Dallas, Texas. And there wasn't that much I could find out about him. There's really nothing about him at all out there.
Well, we don't want to champion him too much anyway.
Well, no, not really. No. But he obviously was the age of 22 years old whenever this took place. So in the morning hours of March 27, 2018, a melee ensued when the two airmen were alone in their room. After Edward was completing his shift at 1900, he said he went to the dorm and shared with Hale some food that they brought back. I done lost my place. I'm usually not like this because my stuff's usually set up, but I'm in a different room. So,
oh, no, you're fine.
So, he said whenever he returned, he flipped open his knife, and Edwards made a joke about using it to rob the restaurant where he got the food before he put the knife down next to Hale's chair. Then Isiah went to bed. So he came home with food, they ate, he was playing around with a knife, and then he decided to put the knife down by Bradley's bed. Crazy.
Yeah.
So, Isiah stated he woke up when he felt Bradley Hale's hand on his buttocks. And then he saw his roommate walk towards and enter the bathroom. That's crazy. So, I mean, that would catch me off guard, too, if somebody's just...
Yeah.
I mean, now, what happened after? Yeah.
Definitely questioning things and concerned.
Right. I mean, considering this time age, I mean, it's nothing new in the military with any different...
Oh, no, I've heard horror stories. I
oh,
know
yeah.
how it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, after he woke up because he felt Bradley touching his butt, he explained that they didn't have any arguments or fights before he fell asleep, but the touching made him pissed off. So he got mad, obviously. And while Bradley was in the bathroom, he then sat up in his bed and was just going at it, just letting the anger get to him.
Yeah.
And then he got out of bed and stood in a corner of the room by the switch for the light. And after Bradley went back to bed, he flipped on the light, stood next to his roommate, and told them to get up. So Bradley did what Isiah wanted to, and he got up. And apparently, Isiah decided to just start hitting him.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So he knocked Bradley to the floor, and then he said it was his intention to hit Hale because that would make it even from grabbing his butt.
Yeah.
But when he continued to strike Bradley, he stood over him, and then when Bradley tried to stand up, he tried to hold him back down. He slipped, pushed him against a dresser, and Isiah fell backwards. Isiah caught himself. Huh?
Hold on. Can I stop you? Because this is where it gets confusing. These details that you're describing, where did they get these details from?
So this came from the court martial of the whole entire case. So this is Isiah's story of this event.
Okay, because one thing that really jumped out at me as like extremely ironic about this was the fact that in court, I don't know if you're okay with me jumping ahead for just a moment.
No, go ahead.
But in court, the defense was, it was self-defense.
Yeah.
But none of his story, anywhere from start to finish, even remotely resembles a self-defense case.
No.
So
other than...
That just blows my mind.
Other than him grabbing the buttocks, but that's not even a self-defense type thing.
It's not even like a physical attack. That's just sexual harassment at worst, and go report it. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, he just wanted to
self-defense. So the audacity to use that as a defense is crazy.
It is. I was like, how the hell you even claim that? That didn't even make no sense.
Yeah, right.
So they scuffled on the floor. Then Isiah fell, and then he was trying to get back to Bradley because Bradley slipped, and then they fell against the dresser. Isiah hurt his hand, and then they were just going back and forth. Then Hale was standing in the other direction with his back towards Isiah, and that's whenever Isiah started stabbing him. He took the knife.
Again, crazy, because that's not self-defense.
No. I mean, his back is to you. Like, you proved your point.
Yeah.
I mean, get a few licks in, that's cool. Whatever.
Yeah, right? Let boys be boys.
Yeah.
But the stabbing is crazy.
Yes, over a simple... I mean, obviously, he was real offensive. Exactly. I'll say it's simple, but I mean, it's offensive if you're not into that, but whatever.
I mean, I'd be offended, but a murderous rage, dude, you should be locked up.
Yeah.
Whether you want to call it self-defense or not, you can't be around people.
Yeah, exactly. So this is when Isiah was trying to start claiming this self-defense. As he was testifying, he was saying that Bradley was close to the knife in the nightstand. So before Bradley grabbed the knife, he took it upon himself to grab it and then start stabbing him.
Yeah.
See, he stabbed him 13 times.
Which is insane.
Yeah. He mislaid the knife down, and because he didn't know where the knife was, he thought Hale was trying to get it. He said the fight lasted overall a half a minute. 30 seconds. 30 seconds for...
I mean, most fights do, but someone 13 times takes longer than people think. 13 doesn't seem like a big number, but if you imagine swinging
just keep going, yeah.
Like that, yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. So, Isiah said he didn't have a lot of time to think about what was going on. He just, in the heat of the moment, just decided it was a good idea.
13 stabs, 3 slices to the neck.
Yeah.
Just, oopsie.
Yeah. Oops.
Happened so fast.
Yeah. I was self-defense.
Jeez.
That's crazy. So, a roommate came and discovered Isiah lying on top of Bradley, and he woke up his other roommates, and they jogged to the lodging office to summon help after realizing they didn't know how to call 911. This is Guam, so, I mean, I kind of get it, but
yeah,
not everybody has a 911.
Yeah, right.
So the lodging manager stated that it was around 2:15 in the morning when this occurred, and that's whenever they were at the front desk. And apparently Isiah tried to call 911 after he stabbed him, but there's no record of that.
Right.
He left them bleeding before they even went get help, before the roommate came in and seen what was happening. So the first phone call was placed at 2:22 a.m. and it sounded like some sort of stuttering, but the second call was placed at 2:23, which was a minute later. That's whenever Isiah told the dispatcher he had to kill his roommate. He had to kill it. It wasn't self-defense. He had to kill him.
Did you have to, though?
Right, did you? Did you?
You sure about that?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So Bradley Hale was 20 years old and he was found unresponsive. He was pronounced dead at 3 a.m. So, on March 27th, in the base quarters while on deployment, that's whenever the autopsy report was done. And Bradley had 3 cuts to his neck, and his death was ruled a homicide. So the day before his death, he also communicated with his stepbrother Shane, and they were planning a road trip whenever he came home. So sad. That's so messed up. The dad was notified whenever he was at a friend's house by the wife. He called her crying and stated that he needed to go home right then and there. That is obviously something you don't want to say over the phone. I get that. I get that. Right. So Bradley's funeral was scheduled for Tuesday, April 10th, 2018, and his body arrived on April 9th. But the paperwork was delayed. That didn't come in until the 21st of April.
Yeah.
Which, obviously, that understands. But the dorm room was locked, so first responders had to break a window to get into it. So you say in self-defense, you said that you tried calling for help, but you locked the door. They had to break a window to access them.
Yeah, that's weird because didn't the roommates the people in the other wing or whatever on the other side came in, saw it, they left.
Yeah, so at what point did the door get locked? I don't
There
understand.
was so much time
Yeah,
for you to unlock the door and stuff. Like, what were you doing? Why did you need the door locked?
exactly. That's crazy.
It's also suspicious.
It is. So the trial.
Yeah.
So the trial was held on May 11th, 2018. And it was at Barksdale at a command base. And the preliminary hearings were also known as Article 32 hearings in the military. They determine probable cause and to see if a trial needs to happen. Obviously, a freaking trial needs to happen. Look what the hell happened.
Yeah, I don't think they even need to convene on that. And
No, I don't think so.
obviously, a trial needs to happen. What do you mean?
Yeah, why is there even a preliminary? It's cut dry, but whatever.
It really is.
Whatever. So they scheduled a preliminary hearing, and then they got the report, and they determined the next step was a trial. And the father, Rodney, attended the trial and said he heard and saw so much that he didn't want to see. So he was able to see all the videos, the pictures, everything of the crime scene. Obviously, that was just too much for him.
Right, naturally.
So he told them to put the screen away because he didn't want to see that, which I would have too, because why are you parading my child on this damn screen?
Yeah, right.
Just show the jury. I don't want to see it.
Like, does that need to be showed? You can just describe it. 13 stabs, that's all they need to know.
Yeah, exactly. So the trial started on that Monday morning following. So they took like literally that Friday was the preliminary hearings, and then that Monday was the trial. So
It didn't take them too long.
no, thank God, because usually I know in the state of Louisiana that takes forever. You got at least a 3-month wait.
Yeah.
At least a 3-month wait. And then with COVID, no, 6 months. 6 months. So, at the hearing, the 911 call was played, and Hale said that, Rodney stated that Isiah stated he called the police, but the videos and the phone calls showed otherwise. So he never attempted, obviously, which we could assume that. I mean, all the evidence here so far, the door locked, you waited, I mean.
Right.
So the attorney in the defense claimed that it was a self-defense, homicide, and the colleagues accused him that it was not. It wasn't a self-defense, obviously. I mean, not that excessive. I thought my phone was off. Okay. So, the second day in the murder trial, that's whenever they started showing the graphic testimony and the videos and the pictures. And that was just to the judge. Jury selection didn't happen until May 15th.
Right.
So, once that happened, then a panel of 2 women, 5 men made up the jury, and that's whenever they started the trial. The opening statements began at 8:30, and Thursday morning on May 17th, they started presenting about 9 o'clock. Hale's family was showed the video again of him lying on the floor in a pool of blood.
Just what they want to see.
Yeah. The prosecutors told the jury that the evidence will show that Isiah stabbed Bradley multiple times in the neck, back, and chest. In the back. In the back! If you stab somebody in the back, it's not self-defense.
It just gets flimsier and flimsier as it goes. Like, what was the plan here?
Exactly.
These are the worst lawyers ever.
They are, but I guess they gotta try something. I guess. But, Isiah, he was trained in martial arts, and he was known to carry a pocket knife, which is what was used. And he was overheard stating previously that he could kill another person and could even kill Hale in a conversation, obviously, that led up to the murder.
Right.
So, attorneys stated that evidence showed that Isiah attempted to wash the blood off his hands before trying to get help. So, yeah, of course he would. He was trying to clean up.
Wow.
Yeah. So, Isiah's attorneys didn't dispute the fact that he killed him. Well, you can't. You can't. But they was just trying to still claim that self-defense. They questioned some of the accounts that was recalled from the witnesses, and they told the members of the jury that Isiah was going to take the stand and testify on his behalf.
Good luck.
Yeah. So the jury heard the testimony. They also heard a testimony from the expert in blood spatter analysis, and he broke down the images from the crime scene and analyzed the blood that was found, explaining how it got there and where it was located.
I'm sure it was everywhere.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, So the first witness was called to the stand at 9:05 on May 18th, 2018. And he testified that when he went to see what was going on, because he heard painful screams and a thud, someone yelling "why," which was obviously Hale, I would assume.
Yeah.
But he didn't know that at the time. But the airman said he saw blood coming from Hale's neck. He woke up his roommate, and that's whenever they ran for help.
Right.
So, before lunch, the jury heard the testimony from special investigations agent, from the martial arts expert, who discussed wounds found on both of the victim, both Hale and Edwards, were on their hands and knees. So, obviously, they were wrestling on the ground. So, understand.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But again, how are you going to claim self-defense if the only wounds you sustained were on your knees from kneeling over the victim while he's on the floor?
Exactly.
And he also said that he hurt his hand on the dresser in his statement, but then was like, yeah, I didn't sustain an injury to my hand. Dude, what are you talking about?
Exactly.
What are you saying at this point?
Exactly. So, first responders found Bradley Hale on blood-soaked carpet between the beds. And he was officially pronounced dead at 2:47 that morning. The trial counsel argued that the evidence showed Isiah waiting 5 minutes to 10 minutes or more before calling for help.
Yeah.
And his actions delayed security forces from entering the dorm room because they locked the door. He locked the door.
Yeah, assuming he was still in there, was he just like listening to them knock?
Yeah, I guess.
What an ass.
Yes. But self-defense. Self-defense.
Oh, yeah, right.
Self-defense.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. So, in contrast to the multiple injuries Bradley suffered, Isiah had a small cut to his hand and abrasions on his knees. And they also found a tooth fragment on the floor, which was Bradley Hale's.
Oh, of course it was.
The autopsy of Bradley Hale revealed a fracture to his right central incisor, which is the tooth that was found on the floor.
Right.
And, let's see, where we at? He had multiple lacerations to his neck, 2 cuts to his jugular vein, a gaping wound on the right side of the neck that injured the carotid artery. And that's the 2 main freaking arteries of your freaking neck.
Yeah,
like, that's the 2 main. You knew what the hell you was doing. You was trained. That's.
Yeah, that was going for the kill.
Yes. Exactly. And a complete transection of the left carotid artery. So, damn near this took it all off. Removed the damn carotid artery. That's crazy.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
The left carotid artery was cut completely across, and it was the most significant wound that he had. And obviously, that's where most of the blood came from. That's just pumping.
Yeah.
Pumping out. That's all the bad veins. That's just crazy.
Yeah, he hit them all. He didn't miss anything.
No. Go. It's funny he didn't hit the femoral. That's all I'm saying. 2 minutes and you're gone. You're gone.
Yes.
So they said that several wounds to the throat would have been fatal on their own, but obviously cutting the carotid and the jugular is what exercised the timeliness of his death.
Yeah.
He also suffered several contusions to the left side of his face, 2 on the forehead, several on the left cheek, the left jaw, 1 behind the ear, and the left ear itself. So that was from the beating prior to the stabbing.
Right.
And it seemed as if that he used an object to help beat Bradley prior to him stabbing.
That's insane.
That is crazy. So the jury heard the testimony from the airman who was deployed with Isiah and Hale and with their day-to-day operations, just to see how, the background was between the two.
Yeah.
And they said that they saw Isiah with nunchucks on several occasions, and recalling he was skilled and seemed to be proficient in using them. So, you're bragging.
You got a tough guy here with the nunchucks.
Exactly, you're bragging, okay. Most people who brag about that really ain't that great, just saying. If you gotta brag, then obviously you're not proven to be great. That's my situation.
Yeah. Nunchucks are a very visual thing. It should be blatantly obvious to anyone watching you use them that you're good with them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All I can think of is is a Bruce Lee that got the freaking nunchucks and he's going crazy. That's the only thing that comes.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh.
Nunchuck skills.
Yes.
That whole thing.
That is I love Napoleon Dynamite. Damn, I'm gonna go watch that movie. Old times. So the airmen recalled that Isiah's response was very blunt, and they gave more thought into it, like, why would he do that? Why would he do that to Bradley?
Yeah.
So it was Edwards' chief who shared the disturbing details of the conversation prior to the murder, that he said that he could kill someone and probably kill Bradley Hale. So they were participating at a barbecue at a supervisor's house in February of 2018, and this happened in March of 2018. So in February, literally a month before. So Isiah stated that he thought he would be able to kill someone, and it also took another conversation took up on a flight line. And the year before, that's when the topic came up, do you think that you could ever kill someone? Most of the airmen took time to respond to the question, if they felt justified in the line of duty or to protect their family, which everybody would do that.
Answers, yeah.
Yeah. But Isiah stated that he could kill very nonchalantly without any limitation or emotion whenever he stated that.
Yeah.
He also asked NCO, which was a non-commissioned officer, could you just kill somebody just to kill somebody? And the officer said, no, I don't think I could. Just, no, that's not me.
Right.
But Isiah said he thought he could and volunteered, I think I could just kill Bradley Hale in the middle of the night. Okay.
Yes.
So this is premeditation, if you ask me. It's just premeditation.
A little bit.
So you use an excuse, he grabbed your butt, and self-defense.
I have a theory, though.
What's your theory?
If Isiah brought Hale food that afternoon with the plan of killing him, that strikes me as odd, doesn't it? If you were planning on killing your roommate, why would you bring them dinner?
Right. Unless just to make things seem normal and not out of the ordinary, I guess.
I guess, but
maybe.
I don't know. This whole thing seems so unorganized.
Yeah.
Or disorganized, I should say. It just seems like it's something that he admitted he was capable of, maybe something he thought about, but I don't think it was something that he'd actually planned on doing.
Right. Just nonchalantly talking about it.
Something in the heat of the moment that made him snap and go, now's the time. Now, whether he actually did grab his butt or not,
right,
that is weird. But I think any man secure in their sexuality would not be that angry,
right,
from something like that.
But like, hey man, no, I don't roll that way. But
my theory, I mean, I've noticed that guys who are usually extremely adamant about not being gay or like hostile towards gay people are usually like actually closeted. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think there may have been something going on in that ballpark, if the grabbing the butt thing was even true to begin with. Because if you're going to make up a reason to kill someone, that's not a good reason.
Right.
You could have come up with literally any excuse. He's not there to share his story. That's the best story you could come up with.
Exactly.
Again, crazy. Doesn't make sense to me.
I agree 100%. I agree. So Bradley, whenever he heard that, whenever they were having that conversation, Bradley said, well, he thought it was just a joke, and he said, there's really nothing I could do to stop it.
Right.
So they did a cross-examination, and this is when Edwards admitted he sustained no significant injuries, and that the abrasions on his knees were from the rug or the carpet that was in the room. He also admitted he competed on a wrestling team in high school, and he laid on top of Bradley in full mount position, which obviously asserted his dominance and control.
Yeah.
And he acknowledged that he purposely pulled Hale's hands away and tried to cover his neck, but denied doing that because he thought Bradley was trying to reach for the knife. So you're conflicting your story. Like, he's conflicting his story.
Yeah, his lawyers, they must have been kicking themselves when he was on the stand. They must have been like, shut up.
Yeah, like, you're incriminating yourself. Hello. Plead the freaking fifth.
Oh my God.
Do something. I don't know. Oh my God. How do you defend that? How do you That's crazy. So, as the scuffle was happening, that's whenever Edwards decided to grab that pocket knife, and he said that... God dog it, I lost my spot again. Oh, Hale was trying to cover his neck. So, apparently that's obviously what Isiah went for first. He went for Bradley's neck. So, Hale was trying to cover his neck, and that's whenever Isiah was pulling his hands away from his neck and just said, no. Start a stabber. So, where he's at? He said he wasn't sure what Bradley was doing with his hands, and that's why he decided just to go with it. Okay.
Right, sure.
He said he remembers stabbing him 3 times, not 13. Okay.
What the hell?
Yeah. He said that he's seen the evidence of the slicing wounds, but he denied delivering those with a knife. He said he didn't do that.
What?
Yeah. You did not. You admitted to stabbing him, but you denied the severity of it. What?
This is frustrating to hear.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
So where does he say the other 13 stabs come from?
He said he don't recall doing that. So that wasn't him. The autopsy was wrong.
Naturally.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright.
Yeah. So he said that he did stab him really hard, but not that hard, or not that many times. He said he tried to go and get help by calling 911, and he didn't recall the order he took those actions. But he remembered telling the police that he had to kill his roommate.
Right.
He said he didn't want to, but he was afraid that if Bradley was going to get the knife, that he would stab him.
Why'd you bring a knife into the fight in the first place? Exactly.
He said he was thinking at the time while he was standing up that he was just going to hit Bradley and that would make it even. Okay. Bygones be bygones. If you just hit him, that's one thing.
Yeah, you kind of overshot that.
Yeah, you shot that a lot. So he said he wouldn't have to tell anybody else what he did, and nobody else would have known about it. That would have been the end of it. Yeah?
Right.
But you went excessive.
Yep.
So court concluded for the week, and that next Monday is whenever the jury came to their good Lord, I just lost my train of thought. Verdict. That's the word.
There you go.
So this is whenever they went over the evidence with all the blood spatter experts and all that's good stuff, and they tested all the DNA. With the exception of some, there was 100 swabs that weren't tested, but I mean, what the hell it needed to be tested for? They shared a freaking room. You admitted to stabbing him. Yeah.
I'm sure there were all kinds of people in and out that room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's at one point they decided to use that on their defense, saying that this could be like a mistrial because all the evidence wasn't used. No. No.
What the hell?
Yeah. So, in closing arguments, the defense counsel argued that there was reasonable doubt. How? There was reasonable doubt of Isiah's guilt because the government didn't perform all the testing on the DNA swabs. Okay.
Dude.
There's not reasonable doubt. There's no doubt that you killed this dude.
If you were in there, if your own story says that you were in the room with him from dinner time until then, but he died from some other mysterious person stabbing him.
Yeah.
Then who was it? You were there.
Exactly. He didn't even try to put blame on no one else. He just said it wasn't him.
This is the most infuriating true crime story I've ever heard.
Yeah. Yeah. So, obviously the judge ruled that was BS, and that's not a reason. So,
yeah, of course.
The sentencing phase began on May 24th of 2018, and this is whenever the Hale's family gave their impact statements. And Bradley's father, Rodney, stated, "I'm just here seeking justice for my firstborn son, and hopefully everything comes out like it's supposed to." Which, hopefully.
Yeah.
He said his son was something. He was awesome. He said he never had a problem with anybody, and the kind of person he would talk into a building not knowing anyone and walk out with friends. He was who he was. He was outgoing, and he always wanted to improve himself. So, the sentencing. So, he was convicted on Thursday, May 24th, 2018 by the 7-member jury. And he was guilty of... Where is it at? I done lost my place again. This is so bad. I still need to do this like I normally do it. Oh my gosh. So he was convicted of the murder, and the records yield proof beyond a reasonable doubt with the intent to kill and absence of any lawful reason to execute the killing of Bradley. Which, thank God.
Yeah.
So they said even if the reason for killing may have been a reason, they showed proof that obviously stabbing in the back and the severity of it was not. So the members stated that Isiah could have stopped, but he chose to go. Death was so natural and probable, so he achieved his goal. He wanted to kill him.
Right. I mean,
yeah,
that was the obvious motive.
Yeah, the evidence in the autopsy obviously was consistent with that as well.
Yeah, of course.
Don't need that. So, where are we at? So, viewing the evidence, they stated that they found that They were guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and it proved all the elements of murder and disproved Isiah's claim of self-defense. The evidence is legally sufficient to support the conviction of Isiah, and the evidence weighed in the record made allowances for personally observing the witnesses who testified on behalf of what they seen as well.
Yeah.
So this is when the court martialed Isiah to 35 years in prison for killing his roommate. 35 years. So he was 22 years old. 35 years, he's getting out when he's 57. 57.
I don't know if that's long enough.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I really don't.
Wow.
It's messed up.
Yeah, it is.
So he was dishonorably discharged from the Air Force, and that's pretty much his case. He still claims, like, he's trying to, state that there was miscalculated evidence, and he also stated that whenever they did the 911 calling, that was incorrect, that he didn't wait 5 or 10 minutes, he did it immediately.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because he was trying to get a retrial.
Of course he was.
Yes. He also argued that the cut on his hand wasn't from the knife or the dresser. That was prior to that event. Okay.
Dude, just every excuse in the book.
Yes. So he was sentenced to maximum term for this, and he is able to get parole after a third of his sentence is served. A third.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yes. So you ain't even gonna be 57. Like,
that's like 12 years.
Yes.
No, there's no way.
So the impact statements. Let's see. The mom said, "My son had no quarrels with anybody. My son was friendly to everybody. I don't understand how this happened. I don't know the reason, and I don't know if I'll ever know that." Well.
Yeah, it sounds like this dude's just going to keep lying about it.
Yeah, and he's going to keep trying to get a mistrial. Just serve your sentence, bro. You ain't even got a life sentence. You just serve your sentence.
Right. 12 years isn't that bad for getting away with murder. I mean, like...
Yeah. No. And then the self-defense. No. So this is, let me get to the right page. So this is Bradley Hale, and this is him in his dress blues.
Okay.
This is him in his camo, and then like him in the band. This is whenever he was playing that bass clarinet back in high school.
Wow.
Yes. And this is him on a family vacation. Obviously very young Bradley Hale.
Yeah.
And this is Rodney Hale, which is his father. You could just see the anger in his eyes, obviously.
Yeah, he's very much not thrilled.
Oh, yes. And this is the timeline. So March 26th is whenever he was killed. April 3rd is whenever it was ruled a homicide. And May 11th, that's whenever they charged him with Isiah with murder. And then the 7th is whenever they answered the not guilty plea. And then they began the trial. And then, obviously, January 22nd of 2019 is whenever he was obviously sentenced for the 35 years in prison. And this is Isiah.
Okay.
I mean, all that he had, like he was, they said that he did martial arts, wrestling, all of that, and he used it for this.
He definitely looks like he could defend himself without
a knife
being needed.
Yes. Yeah, no. So you have any questions in regards to this case, or anything you want to add? If you want to put your...
Yeah, I have a question.
What's that?
What the hell?
Yes. See, I laugh at certain, like, I'm not laughing because I think this case is funny. I'm laughing because I can't believe how freaking ridiculous it is. It's just...
It is. It's just ironic and ridiculous at every turn.
It is. Like, it's chaos. I don't understand how the hell this happened. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Very young. Very young. Both of them very young. 20 and 22 years old.
Yeah, and being in the military and knowing, like, what kind of power you have over life and death, and knowing that you have the ability to kill and you're trained how to do that stuff, like, shame on you, dude. You should know way better.
Yes. Yes.
And honestly, like, if you're that hard up to kill somebody, first of all, you should have got help. I'm sure there's plenty of psychological help.
Oh, hell yes.
In the military. But also, like, dude, you're in the military. It may very well be at some point that you're just, like, ordered to kill someone.
Exactly.
Or multiple people.
Especially in the Air Force.
Especially in the Air Force, dude. You couldn't, like, oh my God. Yeah, this whole thing was...
He had that itch. He had that itch.
He did.
Yes.
And, yeah, I don't know. That's horrible. I mean, like his dad, imagine talking on the phone with your kid, like, oh, your day's about to start, my day's ending, so, like, I'll talk to you later.
And that's the last time.
That's...
The last time you talk to him.
That's horrible.
Yep.
Absolutely horrible.
I can't. So that'll wrap up this. You want to shout out anything about what you'll be doing upcoming?
Yeah. I've kind of got my grubby little hands in a bunch of different things right now. There's another podcast that I was in, a New Orleans-based podcast, coming out probably next week.
Sweet.
I'll be in Vegas second weekend in April. Apparently I'm going to be doing like a paranormal investigation soon.
Holy crap, that would be so freaking exciting.
I know, I'm so excited because I'm like a hardcore atheist, so I'm like, but I'm going into it open-minded, and I'm like, well, this is a chance to prove that there may be something, so it's like,
right.
You know.
Is it in Louisiana?
Yeah, it's a team called Spirit Guides, and they are based out of Lake Charles. So we're trying to find something haunted in New Orleans, which won't be difficult.
Hell no. Hell no.
It's a matter of getting the right permissions and all that stuff.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
It'll happen. And
that's exciting.
Yeah, I just got a lot of stuff going on, but it's exciting.
Well, shoot me that show information. I will tune the hell in.
Oh, and you know what? Because this is a relatively local, regional podcast, apparently there's something called Keesler Con, which is going to be at the Keesler military base on the Gulf Coast in Mississippi, and they're wanting me to perform. So I'll be entertaining young military men and women there, so that's...
Hopefully you don't have nobody like Isiah.
Yeah. Let's do better.
Yes, let's do better. Well, it's nice to have you on the show, but obviously you're more than welcome to join at any given time, and hopefully we could get better set up, because this setup was just chaos getting started, but we got it.
It was. We'll figure it out. But yeah, if you want to follow my socials to see anything that I do, on Instagram it's the Joker's Insta, TikTok it's the Joker's TikTok. I have like my link tree is in both of those bios, which you can find everything else, but yeah, I'm kind of all over, so not hard to find either.
Yeah, I'm gonna also link your stuff into the show notes, so they'll be able to access you as well. So
okay, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having come on the show.
Thank you for having me on. I'm more than happy to.
Yes, sorry, the last show got canceled. My dad ended up in the hospital. He was hemorrhaging. He had teeth pulled, and like the blood would not just stop coming out.
Yeah, how is he doing? Is he
is Yes, he is doing better, thankfully. But yeah, he was hemorrhaging. I'm like, what the hell? He was trying to drive us out to the hospital. I'm like, Dad.
That's wild. That's boomer.
That's South Louisiana. Okay, that's South Louisiana coon ass.
Yes, it is.
Because I'm from I'm from Chauvin, but I live in the Houma area. So, yeah.
Okay.
Like, very south. Very south.
Yeah. I was just down there yesterday.
Most people don't realize that there's more Louisiana than New Orleans. So.
Yeah. No, people don't know that.
No.
They don't understand that. New Orleans is a very, very small part of Louisiana.
Very
big, small part. But
yeah. Local tourists. That's all they know.
Yep, exactly. That and Baton Rouge, maybe.
All right. Well, thank you, and I guess we'll end this.
All right. Thank you.
I'm gonna shoot you the video prior to me posting.
Sure. By all means. Hope you have a good night, and thanks for having me.
You too. Thank you.